My name is Keith Tan. I'm the co-founder of Zeemart. So we're a B2B technology company. I would say you're so focused in your own business, like you really have tunnel vision because you're so busy doing the day-to-day. I won't say biggest, but we were definitely in the top 5 web design agencies in Singapore. Yeah. But they actually have a physical monument that they can show to their kids, right? Hey, Dad designed that building. It's going to be there probably for the next 20 years. I didn't have that to show my kids. When I mentor the younger startups, that's what I always tell them to do. Expect failures, expect mistakes, expect all these things, because the more you are mentally prepared for it, then it will not hit you so hard, you see. Yeah. We didn't take pay, right? I mean, imagine this is a bunch of boys, you never work for anybody, you sort of form a company based on one project that you won. Yeah, so then we said, okay, we're going to plow back all the earnings into seeing what can we do next. Yeah. But I think one of the things we learned from one of the older people that gave us some advice was that, you can do this at the early stage, but that you shouldn't be used to taking a lower pay after a while, because it has a toll on you, right? You have to sacrifice a lot of, probably when you look at your peers, then you feel that, hey, how come you can't go out as much, go clubbing or maybe have holidays, because you are really. So there is a certain stage where I think as a founder you do have to feel the pain, but that shouldn't be the norm. Yeah, because if you as a founder are shortchanging yourself for a longer period, the company will suffer. I still remember we were paying ourselves maybe $800 for a month. Yeah. And then it took us a while before we said, okay, we're going to pay ourselves $2,000. Yeah.
Did you all pay each one $2,000?
Yeah. After a while, and then we basically increased our pay as the business grew. Maybe 2 years into running the business, we found that it wasn't super compatible, right? Because as you grow older, also you have different, you go through different phases of life. Maybe you have different needs. So in the end, it was just Raj and myself.
The other two left?
Yeah, the other two left. I think there were just the usual tiffs and maybe arguments, and then after a bit of seesawing, then I think there was a parting of ways. It's a mutual parting of ways to say that, hey, maybe I think this is not for me, and okay, you guys are probably best to run the company. Yeah, so I think it was quite a matured parting. Yeah. So back then, we were not just doing a lot of technology stuff. We were actually doing also a lot of things we were doing print design, we were doing hardware, computer hardware, and I still remember very distinctly, we had a family friend who had his master's. He had just completed his master's, he had come to Singapore from India and he was looking for a job. But while he was looking for a job, he asked whether he could have a desk in our office so that he could work from. So this is a guy that maybe was about 10 years our senior, right? And smart, intelligent guy, and he was just observing how we were working. So one day he came to us and said that, can I offer you guys some advice, and he shared that, he said that you guys are young, so you like to be busy and you like to do many things, but you will never succeed if you are trying to do so many things. So he said that you guys need to make the hard call to choose one area of business that you want to focus on and drop the rest. Yeah, because only when you focus on one, then you can become an expert in it and then you can be successful. So actually that was something that really hit us, because we felt that, again, we had no mentoring, no guidance from our seniors or whoever. And I think when we decided to drop every line of other business except our web design and development, that was one of the turning points for the business. Yeah, and then because we focused on that, we were able to slowly grow our portfolio of clients, get bigger customers, and then eventually we caught the attention of this company called WPP, which is the world's largest advertising company. So they own companies like Ogilvy, J. Walter Thompson. So they acquired us. So I think therein lies the importance of like having mentors or having experienced people that as young founders you can seek advice from, or even just to understand like what does the world look like. Yeah, because a lot of times you are so I would say you're so focused in your own business, like you really have tunnel vision because you're so busy doing the day to day that maybe a lot of times you don't really have the time, or you don't even think about what next. Yeah, because you're just in the fire every day. In web design is a lot of pitching. So we were pitching for a lot of projects with the government, with private sector. Then also once you win, then you have to deliver the project. So you learn a lot of skills. Like I learned a lot of project management skills, right? Also trying to be a good creative director to my designers. Yep. Understanding technology. Although I studied technology, I wasn't a hardcore programmer, so I also had to I then apply those concepts when trying to even manage the developers, even just growing the team, right? Because at that point in time, Singapore didn't have a lot of talent, so we actually had to find talent from overseas, relocate them to Singapore. So it was actually, it's a lot of new things, which is I think what most founders like. They like to do new things, because for them it's like, okay, give me the next challenge, see whether I can learn, can I sort of understand and so-called master it and then replicate it for the it's not easy. Which is why most startups actually fail because of founder squabbles. And even when I mentor startups, that's what I tell them. And most people actually go through. So what we went through in the beginning, where we had 4 and then became 2, is not uncommon. A lot of times, maybe the company just doesn't survive the disagreement, because, like you said, it is actually a very tough thing to manage. Like, hey, if you're not sacrificing as much as I am, or why can you do this and why can't I do this? Who is to make the overall decision? So I think there is a lot of tension and arguments for sure before you can actually build that trust. Build that that is almost that unspoken trust that that maybe you're good at doing A, the person is good at doing B, and you will not question when that person is doing B because you know that he or she is the best person to do B, and he would have thought about all the things to make sure B is a success, and then vice versa. So you have your domain, I have my domain, and we trust each other to deliver to the best of your own abilities on the domain. That is very hard to achieve. I mean, of course, there must be also a level of reasonableness. You have to be fair, right? So you may voice something because you may see something from your own perspective. When you raise it up, when the other person gives the response, then you also must give the person a fair chance, or give yourself a fair chance to also hear that person's point of view. Is it really a reasonable response? That means what you thought about actually was totally wrong, and you should correct your understanding. Yeah, and I think that is what creates that trust. That is really the hardest thing to build in a business. Really the hardest thing to build. The integrity, the trust, the fact that you don't have to double think, triple think something, because that can kill. It will just be like a little devil, right, in your mind if you always are second guessing something. It's also a bit of maturity, I would say, that we don't jump to conclusions. We give people the benefit of doubt. We try to understand the person's position before trying to make your own judgment. And I think these are things that nobody teaches you, right? These are actually life skills that are very, very important for human beings to work together. Actually, if you break it down, actually, at the end of the day, in everything we do, right, it's about you and me as a human being. How can I understand you? How you understand me? How, when you say something, I try not to view it from my own lens and view it from yours, and also to give the benefit of doubt to the person and not immediately be emotional about things. Yeah, because a lot of times when we are not aware of these things, we create other problems for ourselves. Yeah, I mean, both Raj and I, we learn to be more more sensitive and be more contemplative about things. Actually, for us, actually in Zeemart, it's like there's no like levels or hierarchy. I think we do want to have a very open and caring environment. Yeah, I think if the employee knows that you care for them genuinely, then that's the most important thing they need from you. They feel secure, they feel cared for. They will definitely do their work well. Yeah. So we're also learning how to deal with this. I mean, sometimes we tell ourselves, okay, let's give this person time. Maybe we are jumping to conclusion too early, or this person takes time to assimilate to the culture. Having said that, actually on hindsight, a lot of times our hunch is actually correct, but we might be delayed in actually actioning on a hunch. So sometimes we let the person stay for a year plus, and then it comes to a point where, okay, we have to let the person go because actually it is really poisonous or toxic to the culture. Yeah. So I think now we are learning to be more, I would say, take actions earlier and trust our instincts and try to nip it in the bud. Or at least when interviewing, we are very precious in the kind of people that we want to have on the team. Yeah, so not just because this person has a particular skill set or experience that we want to hire, but most importantly is actually can this person blend in with the environment. I think the one thing that I learned a lot is that how to overcome failures. I think learning to overcome failure and bouncing back is a skill. Yeah, so it's a skill that you get better as you do more failures. Yeah, and I think when you're younger, you tend to be embarrassed by your failures. because especially in Singapore, right, there's so much thing about phase. That's one thing I also teach my two daughters, is to be comfortable with failure. Yeah, because that's the only way that you can accelerate your learning. For sure. I'm comfortable even talking about it when I mentor the younger startups. That's what I always tell them to do. Expect failures, expect mistakes, expect all these things, because the more you are mentally prepared for it, then it will not hit you so hard, you see. I think speak to as many people as you can, especially people who have say more experienced founders. To be frank, that's probably the closest you can learn, is from someone that has gone through it. Yeah, from books, from all that, you won't learn as much, because a lot of it is head knowledge. Actually hearing the stories, then you will get the frank, honest, what to expect. Yeah, and I think that's what young budding startup founders should do. Yeah. Speak to more founders. They will not get the real story, right? If you listen to just podcasts or read books, business books, you are getting the very the sanitized and the press. Right? That's a press friendly, the media friendly story. Yeah, but it's actually all the battle stories, and that actually I find is something that young people will need. I always tell them that you can't teach a lot of this in school, because they try to build a syllabus in school, right? And then they have KPIs on how many people submit the business plan, and a lot of it is very theoretical. Yeah, and I tell them that actually it's not the theory that will kill, because the theory anybody can learn. It's all the soft skills actually, like how to deal with failure, right? How to deal with a fight with your co-founder. How do you find legal advice? All these things. Those are important. Yeah. Right. So disappointments, to me, is also part of a journey that you go through to strengthen your faith. Yeah. So as Christians, we believe a lot in faith, right? Because we don't believe in works, so we don't have to work for our salvation. A lot of it is faith and relationship. So actually through all these trials, it strengthens our faith in our God, right? Yeah. So I think that is how it has helped me personally, and also how to maybe forgive lah. Yeah, that's important also. I don't know, forgive people who backstab me. I mean, in business there's a lot of backstabbing, right? Yeah. There's a lot of things that sometimes you expect this to happen, but then somebody does something bad to you. So how do you I mean, it's not easy for sure, but then maybe you just feel that it is not for you to right the wrong. I mean, God, it's all up to God, right? So back then, we were not just doing a lot of technology stuff. We were actually doing also a lot of things, like we were doing print design, we were doing hardware, computer hardware, and I still remember very distinctly, we had a family friend who had his masters. He had just completed his masters. he had come to Singapore from India and he was looking for a job. But while he was looking for a job, he asked whether he could have a desk in our office so that he could work from. So this is a guy that maybe was about 10 years our senior, right? And a smart, intelligent guy, and he was just observing how we were working. So one day he came to us and said that, can I offer you guys some advice, and he shared that, he said that you guys are young, so you like to be busy and you like to do many things, but you will never succeed if you are trying to do so many things. So he said that you guys need to make the hard call to choose one area of business that you want to focus on and drop the rest. Yeah, because only when you focus on one, then you can become an expert in it and then you can be successful. So actually that was something that really hit us, because we felt that, again, we had no mentoring, no guidance from our seniors or whoever. And I think when we decided to drop every line of other business except our web design and development, that was one of the turning points for the business. Yeah, and then because we focused on that, we were able to slowly grow our portfolio of clients, get bigger customers, and then eventually we caught the attention of this company called WPP, which is the world's largest advertising company. So they own companies like Ogilvy, J. Walter Thompson. So they acquired us then in 2010. Yeah.
So, web design.
No, okay. Maybe around 2006 probably. Yeah, maybe four years before that.
So
yeah.
2004